Dr. Barry, licensed psychologist, and here we talk about psychology and true crime. And this past week, Becky Hill was I believe she was arraigned on charges related to when she worked at a courthouse that oversaw Alec Murdaugh's trial. And I did cover, so I have a link to this full video down in the description. But this hearing back, I want to say it was January of 2024 when this hearing occurred. And the defense attorney was able to ask Becky Hill questions because there were a lot of allegations based on a book that she wrote. Uh, and she was writing the book while she was clerk of court for the county, but there were a lot of questions of, was she biased? And with this conversation, I also wanted to talk about a slippery slope where a person can be really passionate about a certain outcome, but they still have to stay within ethical and legal boundaries. And there are questions of, did Becky Hill step outside of those boundaries, especially knowing that she was writing a book and that the book likely would have been more popular if he was convicted. And the sad part in all of this is I personally think that Alec Murdaugh, I think he was guilty and a jury found him guilty, but we have a process in our country where you can't interfere with this process. And there are, some statements, some allegations that she might have overstepped. Hey, Lisa. Hello, Share Bear. Welcome, B Michigan, and to everyone else watching. If y'all have questions as we're going, please let me know. I do want to flash back in time to this hearing just to play a few short clips and we will go from there. Okay. Thank you. Tomorrow is wash day, so the hair is very happy today. All right. So this is Alec Murdaugh's defense attorney is stepping up to ask her some questions.
I don't know who's supposed to hear this other than you, but
I'm gonna fast forward.
Oh yeah, we're old friends, right? We spent 6 weeks together in a very pressure-filled situation, correct?
It was a long 6 weeks.
It was a long 6 weeks. And during those 6 weeks, you were helpful to me in a number of different ways. Accommodating friends that I had that wanted to come watch the trial, for instance, correct?
That's correct.
You even allowed me to use the private restroom down on the first floor so I didn't have to stand in line with the rest of the people trying to get breaks, correct?
Correct.
So we have no animosity towards each other. You didn't do something to me and I didn't do something to you during that trial, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, given that, I'm going to ask you some questions today that may indicate to you that I have some antagonism towards you. Let me disabuse you of that. I'm here doing a job representing my client, and you've been around the court system for decades, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you understand what we're doing here today.
Yes.
Now, let me understand a couple of things. I think, and I've read your book, some editions of your book. There's several. We got a bunch of emails in which you have drafts that you.
And I think the reason why they got the emails of the drafts of her book, and I could be wrong, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I believe she sent those drafts from her work email, which in my mind is not appropriate. If I am writing a book, I would have my professional, but like my business or my personal email. That would be the email that I would be communicating with. I would not use my court email. And I think that's how they ended up getting access to all of that, is because it was sent through her work email. What? Okay.
You forwarded to your co-author, correct?
Correct.
Objection. I would object to relevance. I believe any draft.
All right. And so they're going to go back and forth. I just wanted to show that clip where the defense is just trying to say, hey, I'm not here against you. Like, we're just having this conversation because the defense is alleging that she that she interfered with the jury, that she had conversations with jurors that were inappropriate. And then there was egg lady. So I think there was a lady that brought eggs, but there was a juror that there are allegations that that juror was on the fence as to whether the state had fully proven their case. And there was this Facebook post that was supposed to be from egg juror's husband or ex-husband, and it turned out that all of that was fake. But this juror got kicked off the jury, and so the defense had questions about all of that. Now the judge asked her questions. So I'm going to skip ahead to when the judge was asking her questions as well. All right, it's right about here, I think. All right. This is
And in the court, in this hearing now that I'm looking at, that the court is conducting, she said, they're asking about this Facebook post, and she said, Miss Becky said she went to look for the post again and that it had been deleted. I don't know who she talked to or anything else, but she said apparently, do you recall her saying that?
I do remember her saying that.
And the court then said, what did she tell you about that? And the juror said, it was after you let us go on the last break. I was very upset. This is what you're talking about. And she came down and talked to me and said that apparently, I don't know who talked to him, but he said he was drunk and he removed the post. Do you recall that?
Well, she didn't tell me that, and I didn't talk with her about that.
Well, you saw that post, the so-called apology post, did you not?
Right, I did.
And you assumed that was a post from her husband, did you not?
Right.
And then you talked to the juror about that, did you not?
I did not.
To me, the judge sounds agitated. And normally, and it could just be the judge's tone of voice. And I'm going to fast forward through my commentary because the judge ended up ruling that Becky Hill, that she did not come across credible.
About that.
Well, who did you talk to about it? Did you bring it to the judge's attention?
No, we didn't get a chance to talk to the judge about that.
I can't with y'all. I just can't.
The court asked this juror, has the clerk discussed anything about the case with anyone on the jury? The juror said, not that I'm aware of. The judge said, okay, she was just discussing with juror. She pulled me aside when we went downstairs after the last break. I want to say it was after lunch, and we came back, and that's when she first told me about it, about this, what we now know was not a post from her husband.
Right.
But you assumed it was a post at the time, and y'all had a conversation.
And that action got someone from. So I have a link to that full hearing down in the description, the hearing with no commentary, and then also my video that I did that had, because I didn't play the entire hearing, but this hearing is part of the reason why SLED got involved and was investigate. Well, I think SLED was involved even before that hearing. SLED is their investigative, like it's an organization that investigates crimes, because they collected her emails. There are allegations that she may have misused some funds. Like, it's not just things related to this trial. So just for yes, there is an allegation that Hill received over $9,000 in financial bonuses from a fund that's meant to be used for child support, and which would be inappropriate. She's also accused of receiving a $2,000 check from the clerk of court just before she resigned, and that she also allowed media to review sealed evidence during the trial because they have an email between her and a production company, I think in Japan, that where she asked them to get rid of the body cam video because she had this is the allegation. The allegation is that she gave them access to body cam video that they weren't supposed to have. And so this is a lot. And the sad thing to me is that all of this could also potentially end up impacting whether the state has to do Alec Murdaugh's trial all over again. They could look at all of this, look at her perjury, 'cause so they're appealing to the state Supreme Court because their local court, his appeal process, he's already used his appeal at every other level except the the state Supreme Court level. And so I think it was Harpootlian. Uh, his Alec Murdaugh's defense attorney was on, I think, Law and Crime. I'm almost positive it was Law and Crime, and did an interview talking about that it's really up to the state Supreme Court when they hear certain cases. I think their response, the defense's response to the state, is due by, I think, August. And once all of that is in, they'll see if the state decides to have a hearing related to this and what proceeds, because his defense is definitely going to say, we had this. And so the defense is going to say that there are allegations of corruption by the clerk of court and that her actions could have impacted the jury. And they did have the jurors get up and the judge asked them, did did anyone influence your verdict? And all the jurors said no. But it's just going to be interesting to see how this goes. Thank you, mother of cats. Make sure to hit that like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Sled. Thank you for this. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and so we'll see. I hope that he doesn't get, but I'm all for justice. So I think, and if he did get a new trial, I wonder if he would testify, because I don't think his testimony was particularly helpful. I think he wanted to get in front of the jury and say Paw Paw and Maggie, and he wanted to get up there and a- attempt to show sorrow and grief. I personally didn't feel that it came off genuine, but that's just, but I have a little bias when it comes to him and all the other things that he's accused of. Anybody that can steal from their clients, that is, you know, misusing every relationship in their life, I I think he would say or do anything to try to get, to try to deny the charges. And so his phone evidence is really that's the dog kennel video, and him having no explanation for how everything happened right around the time that dog kennel video was recorded. There's no way that he was back at the house and didn't know what happened. There's just no way. And so, oy, so that's that case. I have been following the Diddy trial, and I did a video on, I think it was after day 2 of Cassie's testimony. And there were some things that came up in her testimony. I've seen news reports of racy text messages that she sent, and I still believe that. And I think she even said on the stand there were times in their relationship where things were loving or caring, but there was also harm. That both of those things were happening, and even if somebody consents to one thing, she's saying that she did not consent to all of it, and that's important. And that he used manipulation, threats, and control to try to keep her under his thumb. Her husband has come out and made some statements. Also, Justin Bieber made a statement, and I pinned that article in my video, in my most recent video talking about the case, where Justin Bieber does say that he was never harmed by Diddy. And because in my video, because there are concerns about Justin Bieber's mental health right now, I have no clue what's going on with him. People are voicing concerns. So some people were thinking, did something happen? And he's saying no. So it is what it is. Um, Lisa, her husband, did give a really awesome statement. And yes, Lisa, I did see this case, an 18-year-old in Philadelphia that had the parent withdrew her from school because I forget if it was her father or stepfather that was harming her, but she was being harmed in the home. And because they took her out of school, and she was kept at home. And I definitely did see that case, and hoping for justice there. Ah, um, so I am moving into a new office. So the decorations that I'm doing, so my work office, my lease is up at the end of June. So actually at the beginning of June, I'm moving into a new work office. My mom and I will be painting on Monday. And over on my TikTok, if you go to Dr. Patrice Berry at TikTok, let me just pull it up and I can show you all the video I did. Because I did a video um where I showed the paint color and everything. So let me see. As long as it doesn't make me sign in, I don't think it'll. Okay, good. All right. Doo, doo, doo. Let me see if it'll let me search. There we go. All right. So I will share with you all one of my videos where I did a kind of just like I just shared what I was doing. Let's see. Make myself small. Here we go. It's this one. Nope, it's not that one. It's this one. Here is a little sneak peek into my Friday. I'm walking from my old office over to my new office. The official move happens. Oh, nope, sorry. Happens later this month. Today is the prep for paint. Here is my mom. She picked up the paint for me, and I spent the morning getting the painter's tape and prepping the office for Monday. Super excited. Can't wait. This is the color. Have a great day. All right. So that is that. So that is the new office for work. We will be painting on Monday. I already did the painter's tape and prepped everything for that. Super excited. And so yes, so it's my business office, my private practice. I'm going to have a waiting room and my office. And so super excited. Right now I rent from someone else, and both of our leases are coming to an end. She found a phenomenal space. I found a space that works for me, and so I have my own private waiting room. So excited. I'm also following with the Karen Reed trial, the autopsy. So they had, I think it was a medical examiner, but they talked about the fact that there were no injuries consistent with being hit with a car, and that the manner of death was undetermined. And I just wonder what the jury, how the jury is going to feel about that. If I was on the jury, I would have, and if the state's theory is that Karen Reed hit him with a car and they never investigated anything with anyone else, I would just have some questions. Um, so I have seen a few different people posting about the mushrooms case out of Australia. Somebody did tag me in a video, and so I've been following all of that. Um, uh, Nashay, thank you for that. If you would, you can email me at I'll put the I have a let me see if they'll put my email address out there. But I can send you, if you would, and that's totally up to you. If you would like to do that, I can send you a place for that. All right. I have a lot of my art, so I have a lot of things figured out, but we will see. Um, so yeah, but the mushrooms case out of Australia, a lot of people are wondering why somebody would do that, what a motive would be. So the story of what happened is there was a big dinner and food was served, and there were, I guess, like, some people ended up get poisoned and they died. And so there's a woman on trial for this, and it's a really sad case out of Australia. Really, really sad. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm also keeping an eye on Donna Adelson's case with the potential wiretap information. And so her trial has been pushed back because her defense needs more time to look at all of the discovery. And so I am keeping an eye on that. I think there's a doctor in Florida that is defending himself. I'm keeping an eye on that case as well. But yes, 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 yes. So those are the things that I'm watching. Um, let me know if there are any cases that you all are following. Um, I think Paul from reporting live from my sofa, he's been following the mushroom case, and so I've seen some of his coverage of that trial. But yep, yep, yep. Oh, and Lori Vallow. Oy. I saw her get all mad and request that the judge recuse himself because he hadn't ruled in her favor ever. Like, she's like, "You never rule for me." And the judge was like, "I just ruled for you. Like, what do you mean I never rule for you?" Um uh yes, Nishay, that works. And so with Lori Vallow, the judge, of course, is not going to recuse himself. In my opinion, he's shown no bias against her. If nothing else, he's tried to be patient with her. He's tried to advise her that she could request more time, but she's the one that wants this fast case. If she needs more time to call certain witnesses, but she's not taking it, and then she's going to blame the court, this unfair system, despite the fact that she's the one creating the problem, and she's just not going to take responsibility for it. Lori Vallow, in my opinion, likes to put things on other people. She very much wants to be in control, but does not want the consequences. And representing herself is not a good idea. I think she'll do okay. So I think it'll be similar to the last trial. I don't know that she'll present any evidence. A little background, Lori Vallow she has her third trial in the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. And so this is her only living victim, somebody that survived and one of her attacks. That's the allegation. Because it was likely Alex was the one with the pew pew. And we all saw Lori Vallow's tantrum, and she just got very upset. And the judge was so patient with her. He's been so patient with her, but he's been firm. And so the judge in Arizona reminds me a little of Judge Kranek, how he worked with Sarah Boone. And the judge in Arizona just simply said, this is how it is. This is where we are. He pushed back. He's setting boundaries with her, because Lori, she wanted to have no shackles, or because I think they have like a belt. They have a special security belt that she has to wear. And because she caused no issues in her last trial, she's out here trying to just show up in court with nothing, despite being convicted of four. Four? Yes, she's Yes, she's convicted of murdering 4 people, and she's charged with attempting on 1 more, and she's out here asking to have no restraints at all. And the court just isn't gonna do that. In my opinion, she would be a risk. I don't think that she would necessarily run, but it's just it's not a good idea. And so, uh, all right, all right. The judge asking, "Are you done?" So I watched her hearing. Uh, she just Lori reminds me of a mean middle school girl that doesn't know that they're mean, because Lori very much tries to play the victim, and she's just not. She's just not. And so, today will be a bit of a quicker stream. Tuesday, we will be back covering there will be something like we'll have some case to talk about. If there are other topics that are not related to true crime, so if there was anxiety or if there was a different mental health topic that y'all wanted me to cover, please let me know. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so before the end of the month, I will definitely do a so you're looking for a therapist and give people tips on how to find the right person, or I'll repost one of my past videos on that. If y'all have people that are graduating, congrats to anyone who has anyone in their family, or if you are personally graduating. We are in graduation season, and we're all getting ready for the summer. And so I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I will see y'all. Oh, and then I saw a good question. I'm gonna have to watch this show. So I'm gonna have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Um, I think it's gonna be just a little, but I think I can watch it now. I think I'm in a space where I can check out adolescence. Because I definitely have some thoughts, and so I've heard some things about it. I just haven't watched it yet. So I will take a look at that. All right. The right therapist is so important, because just finding a therapist, no, but like finding the right therapist is very important. And so I hope y'all have a good one. I will see y'all next time. Bye.